But they were psychiatrists. They must have been there when Jason woke up.
There was an intermediate period. Jason was comatose, but occasionally he would open his eyes. And when we saw that he wasn't completely unconscious, we called in psychiatrists to test his cognitive responses.
Okay, so Dr. Thomas was still treating Jason while he was comatose.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Where was AJ during all this? Did he know Dr. Thomas?
AJ was deeply concerned about you, Jason. We all were. We were speaking constantly to the doctors about your condition.
Do you remember AJ talking to Dr. Thomas?
Well, I'm sure he did. I don't remember anything in particular.
No meetings or private conversations, anything like that?
If you're trying to paint Dr. Thomas as a bad guy, you're wasting your time.
He is the one common thread in all of this.
And that makes him guilty of what? It's not his fault that Durant stole the tapes with all the notes he had on Michael.
Okay, you know what? Forget Dr. Thomas for a second, okay? When Jason was in the coma after the accident, who was with him day in and day out?
Oh, the whole family. We were there with him round the clock. We would take turns.
And after that?
Well, when he didn't show any signs of recovery, we were there with him during the day, but we would go home at night. So that's why he was alone When his heart stopped. It was the middle of the night, and all of a sudden he went into cold blue and almost died.
What made my heart stop?
We never knew.
The doctors, they couldn't figure it out?
Jason, the accident caused a cerebral edema, which is swelling of the brain. Now, Tony put you on medication to keep your blood pressure down to minimize the swelling. At one point, well, actually, Ned was with you. Your pressure just plummeted, and he had to take you off the medication, which made you stabilized. And then it was a week later. Actually, it was January 17th, to be exact. Your heart stopped. I mean, it was the middle of the night. It was all of a sudden, and the alarms went off, and the ICU staff revived you.
Jason was still in a coma, right?
Yeah. Well, other than opening your eyes occasionally. You weren't showing any signs of recovery. Actually, the doctors had told us that we should probably prepare for you being in a vegetative state and eventually being institutionalized.
You must have been devastated.
Yeah. We were. But you were strong. You defied all the odds, and you woke up. You not only woke up, you made a life for yourself, and I thank God every day, Jason, that those doctors were wrong.
Monica, thank you for filling in the blanks. We appreciate it.
Well, I wish I could be more helpful. If there's anything you need, you call me, okay?
Thank you.
You're wrong. Jason never woke up.
That's because you tried to kill him.
Dr. Thomas? Keep an eye out.
How about you keep an eye out?
No, Jason, I'm quicker, please. There we go. Here's Michael's file.
Anything interesting?
No, I mean, it's a bunch of handwritten notes. Nothing new. AJ is mentioned here, but... Oh, he has Michael's biological file.
Here's my file.
On his desk?
Yeah, it's a file around the time of my accident. Saw my charts and test results.
Is there anything in there?
Okay, Monica said the second crisis happened January 17th, right?
Yeah.
That page from my chart's missing.
All these years, and now I realize it. My God, that second crisis in the middle of the night that never should have happened was a murder attempt. You tried to murder our son.
How can you say that, Monica?
Because 2 days earlier, Tony Jones had told us that Jason was going to be a vegetable. Our beautiful boy, who was going to be a doctor, was going to live a living death. And you couldn't stand that, could you, Ellen?
No, I couldn't. And neither could you. But I would never do him any harm.
Oh, yes, you could, because you went to his room and you gave him something to stop his heart. God knows what damage you did. He could have been dead if they hadn't come in and then revived him. You are probably responsible for his memory loss. Do you know that?
I didn't try to kill Jason, Monica.
What? What are you talking about?
I saved his life.
What?
On that night, I went up to Jason's room, and I was just going to sit with him for a few minutes. And the machine's alarms went off. And I revived him before the ICU staff even got there.
My God, why didn't you tell me this?
Because I hesitated for a moment and thought to myself, maybe Jason would be better off dead than alive. And I was so ashamed for that moment that I hesitated. I could never bring myself to tell you. But I assure you, Monica, it was me who saved our son's life.
There's no record for January 17th. All the days around it, but not for the day my heart stopped.
All right, well, that can't be a coincidence. Someone must have destroyed the records of the time you almost died, and I would take bets that it was Dr. Thomas.
Those records could have been destroyed any time in the past 10 years by anyone.
Including AJ?
Why would he want to?
I don't know, Jason. Maybe that is the connection between AJ and Dr. Thomas. Maybe AJ wanted to change your record somehow.
What?
Well, there must have been something on this tape that someone didn't want us to hear. Dr. Thomas.
Find what you were looking for? You know, I'm no lawyer, but I believe this is called breaking and entering. Now, you give me one good reason why I shouldn't call the police. What? No.
How about this one?
Okay, just look, try and grasp the concept. With Rachel Adair's suicide, all the charges against Michael have been dropped. This is a
Tell me the connection between you
Jason,
and
wait.
AJ. Tell me!
Jason, Michael is in the clear. Nothing else matters. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
I think he killed AJ.
Yeah, maybe there's something on this tape that'll prove it.